rock by the bargeful is currently being dropped into a section of the Pamlico Sound as part of an oyster sanctuary.
The idea is that we build these reefs by putting materials on the bottom. We build these in strategic locations in Pamlico Sound where oyster larvae will settle. They will grow into adult oysters and they'll spawn and provide oyster larvae for other areas in the sound that are in need.
These sanctuaries work exactly like their name suggests. Experts say they provide a haven for millions of oysters to grow.
Their impact is very large in the sound, both from the water quality, filtration perspective, the way that they're able to spawn and help with our other wild oyster reefs in the sound, and then the fish habitat that they're providing.
Oyster populations have been struggling for the past century.
Worldwide, oyster populations are imperiled. We've lost in excess of 90% of oysters across the globe.
That's why the Division of Marine Fisheries began their oyster restoration program nearly 30 years ago.
This has been going on since 1996. We've built basically from Roanoke Island down here to southern Pamlico Sound.
And nearly 16 years ago, the North Carolina Coastal Federation joined in on the effort.
We got involved in oyster sanctuary work in 2008 when NOAA announced their American Recovery and Reinvestment Act funding. And we helped to bring in some logistical connections as well as funding support to the Division of Marine Fisheries for the oyster sanctuary construction.
This spring and summer, the work is continuing in the Pamlico Sound, where the groups hope to construct another 30 to 40 acres.
This year, we're ramping up. We've got more material and more acres built than we ever have in a single year before, and we're poised to continue that for the next 2 years after this.
These sanctuaries are placed in strategic locations, utilizing the expertise of biologists like Bennett Paradis, who looks at several different factors when deciding where these sites will be successful.
We'll take a look at the dissolved oxygen, salinity, depth, the bottom substrate, and we'll determine if those areas are good for potential sanctuaries.
These biologists then do annual monitoring on the sites where they can track just how successful they are.
The Division of Marine Fisheries has some recent monitoring that says the oyster sanctuaries alone are protecting 350 million oysters in Pamlico Sound. Those oysters on the reefs are then filtering somewhere between 5 and 17 billion gallons of water.
The work to build this latest oyster sanctuary will continue for the next several weeks.